And it's difficult. Where do you put it?
And that's my concern.
And you can put it into hard assets, but then hard assets come with a new problem, because my personal view is that I wanted to be rich, and then I got rich. And then I realized what I actually wanted was to be free. And they're different things. There's a lot of people who are rich, but they're not free.
Yeah.
They can't say the things I'm saying on a podcast. They can't tell a government to get fucked like I can. If I were to just buy a bunch of houses in England and continue talking like I'm talking on a long enough time scale, they're going to take them. This is the thing. You don't own houses. That's the reason I'm not a big real estate guy. People say, oh, I own my house. Oh, you own it. Let's talk about your owning that house. Go out and park somewhere. Get a parking ticket. Don't pay it. Okay, so they add more money. Don't pay it again. Give you a court date. Don't go. They send a bailiff. Don't pay him. On a long enough time scale, may take a year, may take 2, may take 3, sooner or later, they're going to come with a big enough piece of paper and a big enough bailiff, and they're going to take your fucking house. They're going to say, you owe us this money. This is your asset. Give us your asset. You don't own it if they can take it from you anytime they want. And that's what they'll do. A judge will get a new piece of paper, stamp a new piece of paper, and they'll take it. Because the governments have a monopoly on violence. And that's the true underpinning of the world. The true underpinning of the world is violence. We live in a world now, which is a society which is based on violence from the absolute ground up. Not many people look at that and understand that, and the government are the only people who are allowed to be violent, and that's why they can get away with whatever they want. But everything is violence. There's a threat of violence within everything.
No, I think the thing is, Andrew, you are a straight talker, right? And that's one of the things I think so many people love about you. You say it absolutely as it is. And my fear is, if you say, real estate's dangerous, this is dangerous, people would not know what to do, and they'll end up doing nothing, leaving their money in the bank.
That's true.
Help us out.
Okay, that's true.
Help us out.
When I say real estate is dangerous, now, firstly, you can make money with real estate. You can make money with real estate. I'm not saying it's dangerous from that perspective. I'm talking about my own personal ideology. Yeah. My personal ideology is I don't want to be within control of a government. I don't want a government to control me. If I didn't think that way, then I'd be a lot less opposed to real estate. I mean, a house is always going to be worth something. It ain't going to go to zero. You know, it's not like a risk like a crypto or a stock that can go to zero. A house will always be worth something, and you can definitely make a lot of money in it. I'm just at the position where I just don't want to have a government to have control of me. And this recent war proved it. Look at all these billionaire Russians who fair and square bought property in London by the law, paid their price, paid the stamp duty, stuck to the rules. Then the president of their country did something they may not have even agreed with it. Who do they know? Do you agree with everything the prime minister does now?
No.
Neither do I. And then the British government came along and just took all their houses off them.
Here's my stance. If you have gold, silver, anything, especially money in the bank, it can, if you go down the extreme levels enough, it can get taken.
Well, that's true.
Nothing on this earth is freehold. Everything is leasehold.
To a degree, there are certain things which can't be taken.
Like, you won't give us one example though, so it's hard to...
There are some things that can't be taken.
Okay, but I think that property is one of the hardest things for anybody to take. You can make I make a lot of money in property without owning it as well. Yeah. By controlling it.
Absolutely.
And also being a property entrepreneur.
I can't say you don't make money in real estate. And I'm also not saying I don't own anything.
You do own property.
Of course I do. But I'm just saying that I don't feel comfortable. I don't go, bought another house. Yes, let me sleep easy. Some guys do. But I think when you truly understand...
you know what I'm doing right now, flipping land and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, a few years ago, many people said to me, oh, real estate's risky. I've made millions in real estate.
I bet you have.
It's all I know.
I bet you have.
And through controlling it, flipping it, trading it, owning it.
Completely.
And my properties a lot are in my personal name. I've got a lot in company as well now. Yeah. I think I'm in a pretty safe position. Now, if it gets so bad that they take away everybody's property and the world has ended and there's this massive plague and everybody's dead, you know what? I lived a pretty good life.
No, completely. And I understand a lot of people will see me as paranoid, and that's fine. But I know you can make a whole bunch of money, but the last thing I'm currently in a situation where I don't need money. So I'm just trying to position myself in a way that I sleep the best as possible. And I don't feel happy with money in the bank either. I don't.
That's the worst.
Not because of even inflation. Like if I load up my bank balance and it's $87 million, that doesn't make me feel comfortable. It makes me feel the opposite. Right. Because the one day you click on the app, sorry, contact customer service. You're like, you fuckers, you fucking, they'll just do that shit to you. So it's like, I don't like money in my banks. I don't like money in a house. It's hard. I know it's hard.
You're only insured up to the first £86,000. So if you've got a couple mil and then the bank goes bust, gone.
It's clown world. But I think there's a lot that can be done. Like, I'll give away one of the things I like to do. Just one. So personally, I prefer the idea of digital real estate. Because digital real estate is not controlled by one government jurisdiction, and it can be owned by some obscure entity. So let me give you an example. Let's say I were to buy www.money.com. That's worth money. If I could put anything on there and generate money, so that's worth money. I'd pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
And let's say that was owned by a Singaporean trust. Boom.
Yeah.
I feel safer with that than a house.
Okay. No, that's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because now if anyone wants to find out who owns money.com, even though I've just said it here on this podcast, they're like, look it up, some Singaporean trust. Okay, contact the Singapore authorities. Who owns this trust? We can't tell you. Court injunction. Years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's complicated, and I feel like I own it more than a house.
See, it's interesting, and my attitude is you've got to invest in what you know.
Yeah.
If you've made a lot of money, you should invest in what you know.
Oh, completely.
I don't invest in certain stuff if I don't understand it.
Completely.
And even if people tell me this is a great investment, this is a great coin, I'm thinking, I'm all good, thanks. Because I want to invest in what I understand. And if you understand digital assets, I mean, for me personally, I think owning a website or a link, for me, would feel more risky because I can just see any minute, bang, can't open it. I'd rather own land where even if there's a war and the house gets knocked down, I've still got the land. There's a shortage of land.
I understand.
You know,
I understand. And there's so many ways to skin a cat. And that's what's so beautiful about making money, right? And I completely understand that. My block is ideological. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I know that a lot of money can be made. However, let me give a caveat to that.
Oh, here we go.
I do think that most of the ways money is made on the planet, nearly all of them are Ponzi schemes. I think stocks are a Ponzi scheme. And when I say Ponzi, I mean that if you're in early, you make a bunch of money. And if you're in late, you get wrecked. Money doesn't come from the thin air. Money doesn't come from the sky. So let's look at crypto, right? A lot of people ask me about crypto. Hey, what do you think about this coin? What do you think about this coin? Most people don't understand that the crypto market is player versus player. And it's funny because these new crypto coins launch and they start these Telegram groups, these communities. And all the people who have bought the coin are in this community and they're all like acting like they're friends. You're not friends.
Yeah.
If you bought it at $1 and you want to sell it at a profit of $10, someone has to buy it off you. This is my show. I'm Mr. Producer. I'm wearing a mink coat.